Hi, hello. So, today we will be talking about Starla. For my OC series, she is the last main character, at least for this story I have. She's the last main character introduced chronologically in the story. There are side characters that are introduced before her and after her, but I thought I'd make a video specially for side characters. I also want to say that, oh yes, I finally have an email for my OC series. That's probably going to be my next video. I'm not going to be able to get everybody, because I am starting to get a little bit overwhelmed with posts, but I'm going to try my hardest to be in chronological order until it gets to be like too much, and then I'm going to start picking randomly from who I haven't drawn from yet. But that email should be down in the description below, and just send me a picture and the information, and yeah. Okay, now that I'm done talking about that, oh, one last thing. I'm gonna shill, but before the end of the video. If you like this video, subscribe. If you like my characters, subscribe. If you like my art, you should subscribe. Yes. Okay, now that I'm done shilling, let's get on with the video. So, Starla, if you haven't watched my other OC videos, you really should, to get an idea, particularly Kata and Haveen's video. I talk about the world a little bit more, and then there's Jat, which everyone liked Jat, so I'm really happy about that. I would watch those videos first to get an idea of the world we're dealing with, but basically, we're in space. She is a race of space elves that are called Zincadians, and for her backstory, I need to explain like her planet and kind of the religion of the planet. And basically, you know, like when countries close their borders and no one's allowed in or out, like North Korea, right? Like that's an example of somewhere that's closed, you can't get in or out, and you don't really get any contact in or out. That is this planet, but not like with all the bad part. Well, kind of. And so they're closed off from the rest of the galaxy. Their culture and dress is very, very different. Their culture and dress is more similar to how people dressed in like the 1910s, like the whole dresses and stuff. Like the whole, like, I don't know. I wouldn't say Victorian, but I will say Victorian. I don't know my eras, but old clothes. They use magic instead of technology. Actually, in their religion, it is considered a sin to get any body modifications that have technology in it. Like, you can have a prosthetic, let's just say you lose your arm, you can have a prosthetic arm, but it can't be robotic, to give you an idea. And another thing about Zincadians is they have a class system that is kind of based off of their religion, because they knew of the existence of humans, even though they're a million ways across the galaxy from Earth, but they believe that the closer you are to a human, the less magical you are, which means the more drawn you are to technology, so the more bad you are. This is a class system, and the higher class elves rule, and then everyone else is in an order down, but the ears don't really, they're just a genetic thing. Like, they're not like determined on how much magic you can or can't have. Actually, lower class elves that have a high magic power get kicked off the planet because the rules will be discovered if that's the case. That isn't the case with Starla. Starla is actually the daughter of a bunch of high class elves of a noble family who are the head of a big giant city. Okay, now I have to explain the cities. This is going to be a long video. Did you know that? But basically, Zincadia is an island, and the city of Zinkara, which is where Zincadians come from, there are 7 cities on 7 giant-ass whales. Like, these whales are, like, the size of states, and the city is just on top of the whale. Like, okay? So, her parents are ahead of one of these cities. There are only 7 of these families in existence, okay? They are really special, But because of the genetic factors of the ears, both of her parents had the lowest class ear as a recessive trait. And after having so many kids, you're obviously going to have one where the two recessive traits come together, and that is Starla. For most of Starla's life, she was hidden away or had to force to wear these weird prosthetics to look higher classed, so her family wouldn't have to banish her. But one day, some stuff happens and a bunch of people find out, and they can't have that. So what they do is they basically, her family decides they're going to disown her and banish her, but because they're really religious and kind of like, they can be, at least with banishing and stuff like that, they can be very ritualistic. They ended up like disfiguring the half of her face that's covered in hair, and saying that if you ever come back, we'll kill you. And they let her, and they kicked her off the planet. She only had the clothes on her back and one Ida, and like a bag of stuff. So she had some books. And she had the gem that you see on her outfit right now, which is a power gem, but I don't want to get into that. Just know it gives her a certain amount of strength. And so she's dumped in space. She's wearing really weird clothes for being in space, like I said, like old-timey clothes, and she's just dumped there. And she's confused. She's walking around. She can barely speak the language because Zincadians have their own language that's completely different from hers. And Kata, Haveen, and Jat are on the planet looking for somebody that was put on a bounty on their head. She fits the description of the person they're looking for. They're looking a tall Zincadian with pink hair. The tall Zincadian with pink hair that they're looking for is a dude, but Kata dumps the gun because I love Kata, but she's like me. We're not bright. So they end up coming upon Starla, and Starla explains her situation, and they're like, oh, okay, maybe you can help us find this person, and we feel bad for you. And by this point, Haveen has just realized her fate of just like being like picking up every misfit she comes upon. So they take in Starla after that, and after that, it's the four of them together. Okay, now that that's done with, Starla's personality. Starla is obviously, from being in a noble family and kind of being abused for not being a higher class elf. She's very shy, soft-spoken, will easily be talked over. Actually, this is the person that Jat calls Tall One, and usually she's following around serving Jat because she's so like scared and like will do orders and like kind of meek, that even though Jat is younger and her society is kind of really, I don't know how to word it other than really, really like racist to other alien species. In most other cases, she would think of Jat as like completely below her, but because of everything that's happened and her whole like world being shooken, that Jat being this like commanding little brat, she ends up following Jat's orders and actually becoming really good friends with Jat despite the difference. I should say this is that Zincadians, there is a secret about Zincadians that they do keep a secret from their people, which is gonna be told in the story, but let's just say they aren't as distantly related from humans as they like to think. And also another thing is their class system has nothing to do with like skin color, it's just the shape of your ear, but they think of themselves as the highest form of being, so anything that's not them is immediately trash. And you also get to see her kind of like with that idea of that she's above everything because she is Zincadian. She realizes that that's kind of bullcrap, because one of these so shitty humans with something that is considered in their religion satanic, which is technological enhancements, saved her, feeds her, bought her new clothes so she'd fit in more in space, which is what she's wearing in the ref sheet, and is nice to her when she was told all humans are these evil, greedy, disgusting things. And she basically, she begins to realize how wrong her world was, and she also begins to get more confident. Like I said, at first all she does is kind of listens to everybody and does what they say and is very quiet and is very like sad because she lost everything. But over time she becomes more confident, and she actually, in her bag, she has a weapon that she never uses that uses magic. It's a magical like sword, and once she gets a little bit older and a little bit more confident, she helps Javian and Kata with bounty hunting because she has this magical sword, and she's 6'4" and counting in height. I mean, she's a big girl. She's really freaking tall. I mean, so it would be probably an advantage to have someone that strong to be able to intimidate or overpower somebody if they were trying to catch. And yeah, she also gets a hairstyle change between those two things, but I don't want to show that because that'll probably be spoilers. And yeah, this is Starla. I've had her for the longest, I'd say, and I made up her world. The reason there's so much information on her world is because her world is from a scrapped story that I moved her planet and her people to this new world. So, you know, I will say I'm very happy that I was able to reconcept Zincadia because I really do like the world, and her, even just looking through her and her backstories, you're going to be able to see this glimpse of this world. And I think having societies like hers is good because it shows that space that they're in isn't so melted together, and it isn't just this one big culture, and that there are places that are super distinct and different that absolutely refuse to become one with the kind of the sort of cyberpunk dystopia that is space, and how some places are completely mixed in with that. Like, I'll give you kind of like, not a hint, but like I'll give you a little bit of a not sneak peek, but a special thing I'll say about one of the side characters. Mars is a perfect example of a place that has been perfectly mashed in with the rest of the space. Mars is a planet that one of my side characters come from also. So yeah, this is Starla. Thank you guys so much for watching. As you can see, there is one thing I should say. The drawing that you're seeing in the background, you probably won't see the finished person because as of recording this, I am still not done with it. I realized after I quit recording my rendering of Jat, oh god, this is going to take me like 36 hours. So I told myself, let's just start voice recording so I can have something by Saturday. Just a notes up, my videos probably for the next couple weeks will be pre-recorded. I have a week off and I'm going to try to take advantage. I'm going to record probably for the next pre-record for the next 2 weeks, I'd say. Yeah, about the next 2 weeks should be pre-recorded because of testing I have to do. So if any big milestone happens, unlikely, or if anything big happens and I'm not responding to it in any video, that's why. Thank you, and now that I'm done saying that, and I want to say thank you guys so much for watching this video. Thank you guys so much for sticking around this long. If you have any questions, because I know her backstory has a lot of story in it, so you can be, it's okay to be a little like, what? But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.